It was the early hours of the morning when Carolyn Jones, a woman whose enigmatic charm had always been a strength, was thrust into a nightmare that would haunt her forever. On a flight to Los Angeles, she felt something was wrong. Within moments, she found herself violently ill, barely making it to the restroom before she was overwhelmed by an unexpected wave of blood. Terrified, she had no idea that this shocking incident would only be the beginning of a horrifying medical mystery. Rushed into surgery upon landing, the doctors were shocked by what they discovered when they opened her up. But this was just the latest chapter in the tragic and fascinating life of Carolyn Jones. From a young age, Carolyn Jones's potential as an actress was undeniable. Growing up with a deep love for movies, her mother, a major influence on her, sparked an early passion for the entertainment industry. Yet, Carolyn's early life was marred by tragedy. In 1934, her father abandoned the family during the Great Depression, leaving her mother to raise her alone. In the face of such adversity, the family struggled to make ends meet, and they were eventually forced to move into the cramped home of Carolyn's grandparents. It was there, in a house filled with tension and turmoil, that Carolyn developed chronic asthma, which kept her confined to her room for long periods. During this time, she escaped into the world of music and Hollywood magazines, where she began to dream of a different life, a life in the limelight. At 17, Carolyn enrolled in the Pasadena Playhouse, determined to make her mark in Hollywood. It was there that she met Donaldson, a 27-year-old man who captured her heart. The two quickly became a couple, and by 1950, they had married, though the relationship was short-lived. Just a year later, they divorced. But the fire in Carolyn to succeed in Hollywood burned brighter than ever. After graduating from the Pasadena Playhouse in 1952, Carolyn soon learned that success in Hollywood was more about appearances than talent. She made the difficult decision to undergo a complete transformation: plastic surgery, blonde hair, a refined walk, and the loss of her Texas accent. This makeover would not only change her outward appearance, but would mark the beginning of her serious pursuit of a film career. Soon after, she caught the attention of a talent scout, leading to a contract with Paramount Studios. However, her big break came in 1953 when she starred in the 3D film House of Wax, a hit that would change her life. Despite her small role, critics praised her performance, and for the first time, Carolyn's name was on the map. But fame wasn't all it seemed. After her contract with Paramount ended, Carolyn struggled to find steady work. Her financial situation became dire, and she even had to invite her sister to move in to help with the bills. Nevertheless, Carolyn's resilience kept her going, and she took any acting job she could find, even returning to the stage. It was during this time that Carolyn met Aaron Spelling, an aspiring writer who would later go on to produce hits like Beverly Hills 90210. They shared a mutual ambition and eventually married in 1953, but their relationship, like many others, faced its challenges. The 1950s were full of ups and downs for Carolyn. She had another shot at stardom in 1953 when she was set to audition for a major role in From Here to Eternity. But fate had other plans. The night before her screen test, Carolyn fell seriously ill with pneumonia. She missed the opportunity and the role went to Donna Reed, who would later win an Oscar for her performance. Carolyn's dream of stardom seemed to fade once again. Yet, as life often does, it threw another opportunity her way. In 1958, Carolyn landed a role in King Creole alongside none other than Elvis Presley. It was Elvis's last film before he enlisted in the army, and despite falling ill with high fever, Carolyn bravely pressed on with filming. She and Elvis shared a memorable on-screen kiss, and the film was another hit. But even this didn't mark the start of a steady climb to the top for Carolyn. Despite receiving glowing reviews for her performances, she often found herself cast in quirky supporting roles. She was determined to change that, and when the opportunity arose to play a leading role, Carolyn jumped at it. Unfortunately, the movie flopped despite her stellar performance. Though she didn't achieve the long-term stardom she had hoped for, Carolyn's career continued with moments of recognition. In 1959, she received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress on her role in The Bachelor Party. Yet, despite her breakthrough, Carolyn's dreams of winning the coveted Oscar was dashed when she lost to another actress. Still, the nomination itself marked a significant achievement in her career. As the years passed, Carolyn's star began to fade, but she remained an icon in the eyes of many. Throughout the 1960s, she continued to take roles in both television and film, though none would match her earlier successes. Tragically, Carolyn's health took a toll on her. By the late 1960s, her struggles with illnesses were growing more severe. She had endured multiple surgeries, including one after a mysterious medical episode during a flight to Los Angeles. The toll of years of struggling in the Hollywood spotlight had left Carolyn physically and emotionally exhausted. The heartbreaking reality is that Carolyn's biggest secret, the very thing that had led to her rapid rise and eventual fall, remained buried until the end. Her final years were spent in seclusion, and her tragic death was as mysterious as the life she had led. Carolyn Jones passed away at the age of 53, leaving behind a legacy that, while not as grand as she hoped, would forever be remembered in Hollywood history. Carolyn Jones' story is a cautionary tale of fame's fleeting nature, the cost of ambition, and the sacrifices one must make to achieve their dreams. From a girl with asthma trapped in a house of turmoil to a Hollywood starlet who fought tirelessly to break free from the mold, Carolyn's life is a testament to resilience. Though she never fully achieved the heights she dreamt of, she remains an unforgettable figure in the annals of cinema.